Welcome back to the next module in our course about interpersonal communication. So when we think about the models of interpersonal communication, one must consider the fact that the interpersonal communication process and model focuses on the interaction that happens between two people. Now, these people can be in a relationship, or they could be just two strangers who meet one another on the street. However, in order to understand the dynamics of that interaction, you have to understand the basic components of communication and the communication process. The first thing is to understand the two communicators, the sender and the receiver. The second piece is to understand the content of the messages that are being exchanged, or even the intent of the content of the messages that are being exchanged. The third part to understand in looking at the model of interpersonal communication is the context in which the communication takes place. Each of these components are extremely important, but yet play complex roles in the process of communication. Again, we're thinking communication is really simple. Like you talk, you express yourself, you express how you feel, or you express your opinion, and that's the end of it. But when you peel back the layers of the communication process and you slow it down in time, and you understand that each second and each moment plays a pivotal role in the creation and development of the next moment of that communication process, upon which one person feels, they register and they connect that feeling with a past experience, or perhaps they connect it with a visual moment that they're sensing prior to them processing their thoughts and letting it roll across their voice box and off of their tongue. Or perhaps they're even smelling something and having a whiff of nostalgia. Perhaps they love homemade bread and they smell a whiff of Subway. I don't know. But it then invokes a warm feeling in their memory, and that could even have an impact on their communication and the exchange, which considers the two communicators, the context of the communication, as well as the content of the communication. So when we think about peeling that back and slowing down that motion of communication, let's consider the communicators. Now, the communicators are the people who are engaged in sending and receiving the messages. They are also people who are third-party influences on the communicative process. Let's consider this for a moment. Say, for instance, you're having a communication and it's you and who you think is the second person. And in that communication, you're speaking of, let's say, for instance, money. Now, when your friends say, hey, let's go out, or hey, let's go shopping, and then all of a sudden you tap into your experiences, your understanding of the value of money. Perhaps that came from your family, your community, or your cultural values. And then you answer, I can't go shopping, because in your subconscious, in your psyche, you were just told by someone in your circle that we're in the middle of a recession. Inflation is eating away at the savings. We don't have the money like we used to. You could lose your job. You could, and all of these fact fallacies play in the back of your mind. So when you think about two communicators, it could be you, your friend who's asking you to let's go shopping or let's go have dinner. But it could be your mom in your head saying, girl, you know you're broke. I can't have you this way. You can't come to me and ask to borrow money. I'm not going to give it to you. I don't have it to give to you. I don't have it to loan to you. You have to be more responsible with your money. I'm not, and that. And you hear all these voices. So really, how many people are communicating? it's just not you and that person. When you slow down that communication exchange, it's really your parents speaking through your thoughts, speaking through you, because your ideology of money has been rooted in you by your parents, and that now is shaping and molding the way upon which you communicate with others. So, when we think about communicators, just don't think about there are two people in this exchange. There could be three people in an exchange talking about money, but really there are five people, because that person is communicating the thoughts that are not their own, but those of parents or people who have financial influence over them.